The Song of Seven Chapter 1 is an episodic point-and-click adventure game that came out on May 17th, 2016 for $7.99. Can this Kickstarter title that earned $8,543 bust out in an interesting and compelling solo to earn an encore second episode? Or will this song be off-key, unable to deliver smooth tones of storytelling and gameplay? That's what I'm here to answer. Song of Seven puts you in control of Kiba, a young, musical lad who's part of a village that's basically walled themselves off from the dangers of the outside world. However, when asked to fix the town fence, Kiba is befriended by the outsider Emma, a free-spirited inventor who lures him out to see the world beyond the village walls. Hijinks ensue as it sparks an adventure for the unlikely duo. The game's base story sets up some interesting plot points regarding safety versus curiosity and what it means to be alive. Spiritual elements help to add to its intrigue as you learn about the hunter Amy and run across characters like the Wanderer. Characters are straightforward as they have specific behaviors and traits that make them easily recognizable, like the OCD blacksmith. While the game is only about 2.5 hours long, there's good character building here, even in this smaller setting. The game's major problem, however, is the rhythm of its storytelling. Characters and plot points undergo sudden changes without good transitional events to explain them at times. It's jarring on several occasions, like a record skipping over a whole minute of a song. It makes the events and characters feel unnatural, and I can only wonder if that had to do with a lack of funding of the project. Visually, the game delivers reasonably for its price point, as character designs in several cases may be low-key, but the environments end up shining a bit because of it. There's a couple of scenes that you can really see the love put into the artwork and design, like seeing the world from a treehouse. While there's a clipping issue here and there, those issues don't ever really stand out. But two things did. First, some lighting wasn't used to complement certain scenes, making you unable to see detail or draw attention to something. For example, not putting a pillar of light here to emphasize what this character is saying. Secondly, certain character interactions seem to be missing body language, which was important to the overall presentation. The dancing rhythm game is a prime example of that. I like that the actions with the gorilla here matched up with the arrow keys, and that's what you want. But the minigame would have done much better visually if Kiba also did those actions when repeating the sequence. Because he doesn't, there's a disconnect in your involvement in the story. As for the gameplay, the limited set of puzzles and events are okay, but it does have a few standouts in terms of design. This highlighted puzzle was well designed, requiring the use of sound and environmental cues to open up the next path. Granted, like several other elements in this game, it needed a tweak to put more emphasis on the sound design itself, so it needed a bit better execution to take advantage of it. Other than that, it's your typical point-and-click affair. Things are usually straightforward, and a highlight interactables button was appreciated. A lot of point-and-click games are now doing this, and I really like that. Granted, the game is very linear in terms of actions. There's no branching paths here, and it's basically funneling you through the story. Which is fine, I suppose, but when you use a theme of exploration as one of the main themes of your game, it does sorta stand out. Performance is fine. Although in dark areas with detail, the frame rate drops about 10 to 15 frames. Granted, it is a point and click, and it's not as important in this genre of games, but the implementation is quirky all over the place. I had to readjust the sound in several cases after reloading, and I did run into one particular bug that stopped my progress entirely. It's rough around the edges to say the least, but the developer does seem to be reactive to those issues, coming out with multiple builds during the review process. Song of Seven Chapter 1 feels like a game with good designs and concepts trying to burst out, but can't make the next step due to budget restraints and a lack of polish. While I want to hear more of this tale as it delivers intrigue-wise, it does feel like a shadow of what it could be. Hopefully the game does well enough for a Chapter 2 to see it move forward and get the finances it needs to fill the gaps. But as of right now, it's a fun but very flawed experience for point-and-click adventure fans out there.